Hi, my name is Selena, and I'm joining a book discussion that was started over at Elizabeth Book Babble. Elizabeth did a video, and I saw it today, and the topic was amazing. The topic was, should there be like a viewer guide or like a parental, guidance warning on books? And I think yes, there should be kind of a viewer, kind of what is in the book, a way of being able to know quickly, kind of like what they do for graphic novels and for video games. If it's mature, they have an M. Like on TV shows, if it's a lot of foul language and violence, you'll have like the L and the V that comes up at the beginning of the TV show. I think that there should be something like that for books, especially for YA books, because just as Elizabeth said in her very beautifully done video, so I suggest you go watch that as well. YA starts at 12 and it ends at 18, and that's a very big age difference. And the child at 12 is not the same child at 18, and the child at 14 is not the same child at 18. So there's a lot of maturing that goes on during that time, a lot of growing. And so I think to help teachers, help parents, and help young people themselves gauge what to read and what's appropriate for them to read, the publishers should provide this for their reading audience. And I have 3 examples of when, as an educator, I had to provide that kind of viewer content warning before giving a book to a student, because like we said, books don't have it. So I kind of had to do that in place of having a viewer content. And the first situation happened when I was teaching 7th grade, and I mentioned the book, The Kite Runner. And a student came to me really excited about the book. I guess he had heard of it from somewhere, or somehow he got wind of it and was asking me lots of questions about it and wanted to read it. And I had no problem with giving a kid a book, especially a kid that's excited. And I was loving his enthusiasm for wanting to read and for being engaged in current affairs and things like that. But if you know anything about the rise of the Taliban in Afghanistan, or seen the movie The Kite Runner, or read the book, you would know that there are some scenes that are just tough to read, especially, I would think, for a younger reader. So I didn't say no. I just kind of sent a note home to the parent saying, your child is interested in this book. I just have a concern because of XYZ. If you tell me that it's okay for your child to read the book, then I'll let your child take the book home to read. And that was the end of that. The parents did sign off saying that they were okay with allowing their child to read that book, and the child read it and loved it. We had lots of discussions about the book for the rest of the school year, and I think it was read twice before I got the book back that school year, which was awesome. And then the second incident happened when I was teaching a summer reading program, and I was trying to get students to read books that were being turned into movies either during the summer or by the end of the summer into the fall. And this one student wanted to read Ender's Game, and very much excited by the trailer and was enthusiastic. And again, I'm not one to quelch a student's enthusiasm for reading. I love it. I want to ignite it. So if you've read the book, not so much watched the movie, but if you read the book, there are some scenes that are just, they turn very violent, and I was concerned about the book. So did the same thing. I sent a note home asking the parent if it was okay for their child to read Ender's Game. Parent said fine, and the student read the book and loved the book. So it's, again, that having that viewer content warning doesn't mean the book's not going to get read. It just means that the parent or the educator is keeping an eye out for the well-being of that child. Even though the incidences that I just described turned out where the parent, along with myself, were okay with allowing the child to read the book, there may be incidences where one or both parties are not okay. Meaning that the child might not be okay with reading the content in the book as well. And one case in point in my experience is Gossip Girls. When I was going to school to become a teacher, that was like the big series or newer series that came out, and it turned into a TV show. And so I had to read a couple of books that were hopefully going to be put on my library shelf in my classroom. And so I picked that series to read, not really knowing much about it. But I picked that series to read, and I wanted to go through it just so that I knew what was in it if a student came and asked me. And yeah, I started reading it, and I was blushing and was not okay with some of the content in the book. And I sat down with my professor and I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to fulfill this part of the assignment with this series, and I had to go back and get a new series for my bookshelf. But yeah, it was a lot of sexual content that I didn't think would be appropriate for my classroom, and that's the decision that I've made, and I have made. I have not put that book in my classroom. Is it out in libraries and stuff? Yes, but I feel that people should be made aware of what's inside of the books that they read. Parents should be allowed to say, no, my child is not quite there yet. And then, be able to move them on to something that's more suited for their maturity level. And that's pretty much all I have to say on this topic. I thought it was a really good topic. And hi, everyone else who is doing this discussion. Hopefully you guys aren't mad at me for jumping in on your conversation, but I liked the conversation, so I decided to put my 2 cents in. Okay, that's all I have to say. You guys have a great day. Bye.